Hello and welcome inside the ACU TV or studio for this week's Optimist Newscast. My name is Cindy Varner alongside Connor Mullins. The university has imposed a 2-week mask mandate for campus beginning Tuesday in response to increasing COVID numbers in Abilene, according to an email the students, faculty, and staff sent Monday from Dr. Phil Schubert, president of the university. Similar to last fall, students will not be allowed in classes without a mask and will be required to wear them in indoor spaces. However, common indoor spaces, including the Bean, will remain mask optional. University leadership is set to reevaluate the COVID-19 landscape on September 20th and announce any new changes. Annual SGA elections took place this week to choose class officers and senators for the school year. The Optimist Paige Taylor has more on the story.
Student Government Association elections for Senate and class officers are underway. Students have been campaigning hard for the past week in hopes that they will earn a position on this year's SGA team. Allie Dimmitt is a sophomore political science major from Naples, Florida. She is running for a position on the Senate and explains how this year the Senate positions are highly sought after.
It's been awesome to see how many people want to be involved in SGA, and naturally when you have more people wanting to be involved, you do have to campaign harder. You know, if there were 10 senator spots and 10 senators running, then you don't have to campaign as hard, but it pushes you to do your best when you have 15 people wanting the spot, and so it's been good. People have definitely been putting their best foot forward.
Although campaigning may be hard work, students have found fun and creative ways to connect with their voters throughout the election process.
People also put on events to kind of gain a crowd and get their name out there more. So my friend Arlie and I, who's running for Senate, actually had a popsicle party, which was really fun. We just stood by the Bean and handed out popsicles. And then a couple of the other sophomore people that were running for SGA put on like a little get-together that had spike ball and volleyball and just fun events where people can come out and kind of have a sense of community, talk to people maybe they haven't talked to before, but it also brings awareness for what they're running for and why.
SGA Student Body President Becca Jones, a double major in finance and marketing from San Antonio, says there has been a great turnout for voter participation as well as students wanting to run for a position.
So we've had a pretty big turnout. We've had roughly around 1,000 student body votes, which is similar to previous years. But we see increased competition specifically in the sophomore class. We actually had an 87.5% competitor increase in the sophomore class in terms of people interested in running for Senate, which is really cool and very good on terms of Senate promotion in general.
Final results from the election will be released later this week. For The Optimist, I'm Paige Taylor reporting.
For more information on SGA events, keep up with us Instagram, ACU SGA. Midnight Worship saw record-breaking attendance on Friday, going from a record of 400 students to nearly 1,000. The Optimist Allie Jones has more on the story.
In just a few years, Midnight Worship has become an essential part of the ACU community. Every year, more students join the Midnight family. However, the first week of the semester brought in a groundbreaking number of students. Midnight's worship director Clark Sullivan said before this semester the attendance high was just over 400. But the first week of the semester brought in over 1,000 students.
I don't like to call us a church organization at all because that's not what we are. We're merely just providing a space for college kids all around Abilene to come and experience the presence of God. And it's amazing. The Lord shows up every week. It's fantastic though, but I would say the atmosphere is one of just Jesus. That's how I would describe it.
Despite the huge jump in attendance, Midnight leadership made it clear that they are staying true to their original message. Jayden Pimentel, the spiritual formation director at Midnight Worship, says that at their roots, it's about creating a safe space for people to come together and worship.
I mean, here at Midnight Worship, we want to make sure everyone feels as safe and as comfortable as they can. And we know with how our current environment and society is kind of going about right now with COVID and numbers fluctuating from month to month. We just want to be a safe space and a comfortable space for everybody, And so if that's for wearing masks and social distancing, that's what we're going to do because we want to make sure everyone feels like they're safe here.
When the world went viral due to COVID-19, Midnight Worship remained dedicated to their message and cultivated a strong online presence. Now, as cases rise around Abilene, Midnight leadership has decided to temporarily reinstate the mask requirements.
Kind of our goal, we were obviously very surprised by that number of 1,000 people, and we're expecting it to kind of drop
modestly in the next couple weeks because, you know, there was a lot of excitement leading up to that first week and things, but we're really hoping that it will be the work of the Holy Spirit that brings people to come and worship with us, because we feel very strongly that it's not by our work or by our will that these things are happening, but it's really by the work of the Holy Spirit, and that God is sending revival among the city of Abilene, and especially in college students, that they will just come and desire to be in these spaces of worship. So.
For now, Midnight Worship is held every Friday at Highland Church, and volunteers are always welcome. Announcements and updates are available on their Instagram page, Midnight Worship. For The Optimist, I'm Allie Jones reporting.
Wildcat Sports had a busy weekend with home volleyball tournaments and soccer games, as well as an away football game at SMU. Here's Connor Mullins for more. Connor?
Thanks, Sydney. Football traveled to Dallas to go up against the SMU Mustangs Saturday, with the game ending in a blowout loss for the Wildcats. The Optimist Kerry Johnston has more on that story.
ACU's 100th season didn't quite get to the start they were wanting after they fell to the SMU Mustangs here in Gerald J. Ford Stadium 56-9.
The Wildcats started off the first quarter strong, hanging with the Mustangs and only being down 7-0. But in the second quarter, the Mustangs outscored the Wildcats 28-3, stretching their lead dramatically. This, according to head coach Adam Dorrell, was a result of controllable mistakes.
Things are disappointing as the turnovers. You're playing a really good football team. You can't turn the football over. I thought we had a couple of special teams blunders tonight. Obviously, the muffed punt, and twice we didn't have enough men on the field, which was disappointing because we talk a lot about that and, control the things that don't take any talent.
Leading the charge for the Mustangs was junior transfer quarterback Tanner Mordecai. His 7 passing touchdowns set records for most in a game for both the American Athletic Conference and for SMU. Meanwhile, on the other side, redshirt freshman quarterback Stone Earl started his first ever collegiate game and threw for 160 yards and 1 touchdown. Earl was excited to play with his teammates and is ready to see where the team will grow in the future.
I mean, it's always fun to play football. It's fun competing with the guys that I work out with every day and hang out with. We played against a great team, and it was fun competing. And even though we didn't get the outcome we wanted, we have a lot of guys that got experience tonight that will help later on in the season. So I feel like, I know we're going to be pretty special. We just got to clean up a few things.
Despite being the visitors, ACU had plenty of fans to support them at the game and tailgate. This included Earl's family and friends, who were elated to see his debut close to home in Dallas.
He had a big old smile on his face. He FaceTimed us and he said, "Dad, I'm QB1." And I cried, Mom cried, we all cried. And like you said, it's a homecoming. A lot of people, a lot of coaches, his former coaches and teammates, they're going to be at the game, so it is like a homecoming. And to do it against a traditional team like SMU, known Southwest Conference opponents, and here we are in Dallas playing Division I football on a great Saturday afternoon, you can't ask for more.
Now, the Wildcats will prepare for their first home game of the season against Division III opponent Louisiana College. And, according to Dorrell, a win is essential in order to have a successful season.
We got to get ready for Louisiana College. Obviously, if you can play good at the home opener, usually it brings people back for the second home game, which will be the following week. So we just want to put on a really good performance for our fans, and we're going to have a lot of recruits at the game, so we're excited to be home.
ACU will start their 2021 home opener against Louisiana College at 6 p.m. on Saturday, with the game streaming live on ESPN+. For Optimist Sports, I'm Kerry Johnston, reporting.
Soccer hosted the Texas State Bobcats for the home opener this weekend, and the game led to an evenly competitive matchup with both teams remaining scoreless at the half. Leading up to this match, the Wildcats were 1-2, losing most recently to Texas Tech. Sophomore goalkeeper Lily Foster had a total of 6 saves in the net, but ultimately the Bobcats were able to score a goal in the 87th minute. Senior forward Cristiana Ortega led the ACU offense with 6 shot attempts, with 4 of them being placed on the frame. ACU did lose 1-0 after the late game score by Texas State, which head coach Casey Wilson attributed to giving Texas State too many opportunities to score. ACU will host North Texas at 1 p.m. Sunday, and the game will be broadcast live on the WAC Digital Network. The Wildcats competed in the Wildcat Classic in Abilene this weekend. Other teams that competed including Green Bay, the University of New Mexico, and Texas Southern University. The Wildcats opened the tournament against UNM on Friday with a loss and a quick 3-0. Green Bay, their next opponent, helped ACU to another 3-0 loss. The Wildcats had a negative hitting percentage at one point during the match, and going into the third and final match, ASU had yet to win a set. The team went up against Texas Southern for the last game, with ASU taking the first set, and the last two sets were competitive, with ASU winning both due to late runs. Next up for volleyball is the North Texas tournament in Denton this weekend. Thank you for watching this week's Optimist Newscast. We'll see you next time.